Up, everyone? Welcome back to Man Cave United. I've got my boy Adam in the house in the OG Man United cave. We got Vim coming live from the UK. I'm your boy OG Emad, and we've got special guest all the way from the football capital, Borche. Thanks for coming on the show, brother.
Thanks for having me, guys. Thanks for having me.
No worries, man. Absolute pleasure if I can have you on the show. United won, Chelsea won. Another
disappointing.
Another poor result. Looks like top four is done and dusted.
Yeah.
We probably knew that weeks ago, the way things were going. I want to go through a few things throughout the game, key moments, how we all thought the game went. Firstly, we'll go through the lineup. Borche, what do you think?
Yeah, look, I thought that's what Rangnick was going to pick at the start of the game, or even the day before. With Sancho being out, Rashford, I think, just came straight in. The rest of the lineup probably just picked itself due to the injuries that we had as well, and players that are unavailable. Maybe still on holidays, Cavani and the rest of the boys. So with the lineup, yeah, look, to be honest, I know we want to see maybe some of the youth players start, but to throw them in the deep end late on when it means kind of nothing, I think was the right decision. But yeah, okay, you can't do much with the lineup. I thought that's probably the best you could probably throw out there.
I totally agree with you on the whole youth thing. I know a lot of fans have been calling for, just play the kids and see how they go. They have more passion, desire, and whatnot. But I'm in the same thought process that why put them in now when there's nothing to play for? Let them come in under the new manager, show what they're worth, show how good they are, and then let them just do their own thing next season. Not in this season where it's ended the way it has.
Yeah, I wouldn't start him. Maybe some of them should have maybe come on a bit early in the last couple of games. But yeah, I think you can't throw them in now and have all the pressure on them. And that's what we had the last couple of seasons. I mean, it's some of it. Sometimes it's worked out, sometimes it hasn't. We've seen when Rashford came in, when Martial was injured, and he was flying. A goal on every single debut. Home debut, away debut, Champions League, Europa League, even for international. Even with Mason Greenwood when he's come in before. He wasn't like a starter. Even McTominay back in the day when he was slowly brought into the team. He was performing well. Now all of a sudden with these players we rely on him, even Alanga for an extent where we're relying on him when he was meant to be that player that you got maybe 10 games all season and maybe like a handful of starts. Not
starting every time.
Starting 11, and we're relying on you now to get the job done for us, and it puts a lot more pressure on him. And we've seen how some of our academy players have kind of fallen off because maybe the pressure's been too much, or they've probably been just burnt out. So yeah, I think keeping them guys on the bench, at least getting a feel of how it is to be in that first team experience. I think for now, with the current state that we're in, probably it's the best thing.
100% agree with you, man. Adam, what were your thoughts on the lineup?
Yeah, I don't really have many thoughts when it comes to the lineup because I always look at it like, okay, the lineup's been put out. This is what we've got to watch, and let's see how it comes along through the game. So I'm not one to go, oh, he's in. It's a group session. So at the end of the day, again, I'll say it, I don't go into game with much expectation anymore. So I come out the other end, not disappointed. I come out disappointed, but not as bad as I was. So it was standard again through the game where Ronaldo rescued a point for us and De Gea's making 7 saves in 60 minutes. It was probably less than that. It was probably in the first 45. So, yeah.
Yeah, the first 25, he was under the pump big time. Gaps.
I think by the end of it,
all over the pitch.
I was taking stats on him, how many saves he was making. It was 7 saves in 45 minutes he made. It was absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, he had to make a save in the 5th minute, straight up off the bat. So, but that was the way we've been starting games lately, and the only reason we were in the game is because Chelsea couldn't finish. And I'm guessing, I don't watch much of Chelsea, but I'm guessing that's the way they've been playing lately. And I'll maintain it again. You know, Chelsea weren't good in the Premier League last year, even though they won the Champions League. And everyone gave them all the hype about winning the league this year because they won the Champions League. To me, they're just the same old Chelsea from last year. So
guarantee you, had it not been for De Gea, it would have been 4-0 at halftime at least.
Oh, 100%. But I'm just talking about their finishing. When you look at Chelsea and you look at Liverpool, they'll take. I mean, City and Liverpool, they'll take their chances every single time.
Oh,
With Chelsea, they're still that team that just hasn't got that quality finish to nullify every time.
I just think any other keeper in there, though, and maybe one or two would have crept in at least.
Oh, mate, De Gea's my man. So
even on some of their days, like if Kai Havertz just had a bit of a better game, that goes in the first 5, and they head at the clear 1-on-1. These chances go in. If they don't have a poor performance or poor show up front, that's what you get as well. You know what I mean?
On that 1v1, De Gea stood tall very nicely, but Havertz, it was poor by him. Like he ran straight at De Gea. He didn't even attempt to try and step around him or anything like that. He tried to go the 1v1 straight on and finish it into a corner. You know, usually in a 1v1 situation, you'll see a lot of strikers. They'll go at the keeper and they'll take a little step to the right or step to the left and finish. It was a poor finish, and that's why the coach was blown
on
up.
the sideline there. Yeah, Tuchel on the sideline going off.
Yeah.
Vimal, I'll bring you in here, brother. That first half performance, what'd you make of it?
Yeah, it was pretty shocking, wasn't it? But it's not something that we've not seen before. You know, we have a very kind of porous midfield where basically all teams seem to get through to our goal very, very quickly and very, very easily. You know, we don't have any kind of strength or solidity in that midfield. And, you know, poor Ronaldo, he's having to pretty much do everything on his own. You know, he doesn't get much service. He's trying and working very hard up front. Our midfield, again, we have 5 in midfield, same as the previous game. Very, very easy to get through. They can't keep the ball. There's no possession. Then the defense is always exposed. Luckily, we didn't have Harry Maguire. You know, he needs, I guess he just needs a break for a while. But yeah, generally quite poor. And we were very lucky as well that Chelsea were not up to the scratch in finishing, because if they had finished a lot of their chances, gosh, can you imagine the scoreline at half time? So we got very lucky, but yeah, it's the same type of performance. Yeah.
You mentioned Ronaldo doing a lot of the things on his own there, and if you isolate his performance on its own and forget everything else that was going on, unbelievable performance from Ronaldo.
Yeah.
He was tracking back. He was making tackles, winning the ball, interceptions, putting through balls in. Unbelievable performance.
Everything that we said, or people that are saying that he wasn't doing this season is a problem because he's not doing this or that. Or what I saw on the weekend, and even against Arsenal as well, this is the only guy that has an excuse not to be here. The only player. You know what I mean? If we came out and said Ronaldo's not going to play for the rest of the season because of what happened to him, then yeah, we'll be all fine. But this guy is actually turned up, put in a performance. He's doing Wan-Bissaka's job, he's Teller's job, he's doing McTominay's job, he's doing Bruno's job, and then he's doing his own job to top it off as well. So it's like you got to give him credit, especially the last 2 games against, you know, top 4 opponents. You know, he's been putting in a shift compared to everyone else.
The effort and desire he's been showing, you can say probably since the Norwich hat trick, but the effort and desire he showed yesterday morning, unbelievable. Puts those kids or the younger players, put them on show. He's 37 years old, going on 38.
Since he had that break, come back from that game off, he's been a changed player for me. Yes,
and it was perfectly timed as well.
Yeah,
I remember it's perfectly timed because he excused himself for that little break to have a little bit of recovery in Portugal, and then he came back a fresh player. I think it was perfectly timed. He knows his body.
He was criticised for going to Portugal as well, for having his rehab in Portugal. for whatever reason it was.
Well, he wasn't going to start that game anyways. Apparently, Rannick said he was going to leave him out. So
Yeah.
might as well go for a little bit of a break. What's the point of coming on for 15 minutes? He's gone holiday, have a rest. And we knew this from the start of the season. We all said it. Ronaldo's going to come, but he's not going to play every game. I think he's played more games and more minutes than we all really expected. If we didn't have to rely on him so much, and if the off-field stuff with Greenwood, if that doesn't happen, you probably see Ronaldo maybe benched a bit more. And if it wasn't, if Oli wasn't getting criticized for not starting him, then because every time Ronaldo didn't play, it's how do you not start the GOAT? How do you not start your best players? But then when we do play him, sometimes Ronaldo needs a rest. So these you can't win. You can't win. So
that was a double-edged sword for Oli, wasn't it?
Yeah, but even now, it's like, oh, you got to start Ronaldo. But then when he doesn't perform, it's why are you starting?
Why'd you start
someone else?
Ronaldo?
Yeah, you can't win with these guys. Like how many times I've seen all these news outlets or sporting outlets, Ronaldo's the problem, and now they're putting up posts saying he was never the problem. Well, you guys are it's you guys run the agenda. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So it's like
It's whatever feeds the narrative at the time.
Yeah, but do you not think it's a double-edged sword for Ronaldo? Because when he had his drought, he was getting a lot of criticism. Yeah, that, this guy's, he's not performing, he's getting so much money per week and he's not scoring the goals. Whereas if you really look at it and think about it, he's being deprived of service. If he's in a much better, well-oiled machine, he's going to get the ball coming to him all the time. He's got a powerful header, he can strike with 2 feet, he's got, an amazing leap. In terms of strikers out there, he is one of the best, even at his age. And when he's deprived of service, the drought will happen. But yet he was criticized for it. But now you can see that he will get a goal out of nowhere, despite having no service. 1 chances, 2 chances, how many we create per game, he will get something out of it. So I think he does get unfair criticism. And now you can see he does. He's probably not worth 480 per week, but he's worth, very much that much.
He scored 7 of our 8 last goals. 7 of United's last 8 goals. He scored 22 now. I think he's second highest scorer in the Premier League now. So
Still
behind Salah.
And he's not too many off that. 5 games to go.
And you see, you're talking about
37.
we're talking about goal droughts and all that. I mean, Salah scored 2 goals in how many the goals against us he scored, but then what in 9 games? That's the only 2 goals he scored. No one's talking about that.
Yeah, but he's got other players scoring around him. That's the difference.
Exactly.
We haven't got anyone else scoring, so we all
exactly that.
But that's what I'm saying. He was in a bit of a goal drought as well, and even some other players haven't scored in open play for this long. But no one really cares because the Ronaldo and Man United are the ones that get the clicks. I remember when we won the league, Van Persie went on a 3-month goal drought.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when you're winning and all that, no one's really making a big deal about that. So.
And I think regardless of where United sit on the table or where Ronaldo plays, for example, we're always going to be a hotly talked about topic. So we're always number 1 on the list. In terms of, that first half, I want to touch on that first half because that was bad. That was a really bad first half. It looked like Chelsea were running training drills. There was space everywhere, not much tracking down, not much tackling going on. What do you think was said to the boys at halftime, and did you see much of a change in that second half? Adam, I'll go to you.
Look, at the start of the game, there wasn't much change. There was nothing. But before we move into the second half, just a little bit there on Rashford. My daughter's a massive Rashford fan. And I like talking Rashford up, but he's a disgrace, seriously. What I saw on the weekend, it's just, over the last few games, I don't want to bag the guy, but, mate, you've got to put in. We were talking about Telles having a bad game, but it doesn't help when the player in front of you's not tracking back either because it's creating 3-on-1s and 2v1s. And, I got sent a picture last night of Rashford just standing on the edge of the box near the player, but it's the most ridiculous photo I've ever seen. Chelsea overloaded an area in the box. Rashford has tracked back, but you got to get close. I feel a lot of our players don't know how to jockey properly these days. I think they jockey from too far away. and they're allowing players to get the cross in. And the cross should be shut down before that, or you should be jockeying well closer, because you see in a lot of games where they get just inside the 18-yard box, and they've probably got a 10-meter range to push the ball forward, and they're still allowed to get the cutback. Like that never used to happen. They used to be able to get in front of that player and at least get it out for a corner or block it for a throw or something like that. To allow a player to get to the byline and cut it back, A, you're cutting out the keeper, and B, it's a totally different angle for the fullbacks to get the ball away, especially when the players are coming onto it. Yeah. So, yeah, that happened a lot in that first half. Moving on to the second half, I didn't think there was much change. I had to laugh at one stage in that second half where Tellez and McTominay with that set piece. That was a shocking set piece. I don't know what they were trying there, but it was just schoolboy shit, something they thought they worked on but never come off. But, yeah, again, I thought our subs were good when they came on. I thought Juan Mata put in a shift again, and it was good to see Garnacho come on and make his debut. So, yeah, it's just Ronaldo. The only reason it looked close is because Ronaldo got us the goal.
Yeah. No, you're right with the with that defending, and you know what? I don't know what's been said before the game. Like if I touch on the first half a little bit, it happens every week, and not just under Rangnick. It happened under Oli. How many times did we go back? Did we go behind? We got a record for going behind and coming back in away games.
Mm.
It might be good. Oh, you got a record, but it's not really the best record to have. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, it's the same. It's pretty much the same players switching off from last season.
We only ever
And
used
now,
to start playing when we conceded a goal under Oli.
Exactly right. So maybe that's why we're conceding in the opening 2 minutes in hope that these guys
It's getting worse.
can wake up. It's getting worse. Like we went from 5 minutes against City to 4 minutes against Liverpool and 2 minutes against Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? And we almost copped another one in the opening 5 minutes. I don't know what the hell has been said. Like, what more do you need of motivation than wearing that shirt, wearing that badge? You're going out at Old Trafford. Anyone in the world, any other player would snatch up to take that opportunity that some of these players are. You know what I mean? And it's like, even with the defending, like Adam, you were touching on there with like Tellez and Rashford. Like, I just don't get how you don't check your shoulder. Just check your shoulder, have a look if the player's there. We got knocked out of the Champions League last season against RB Leipzig because Wan-Bissaka, it took him about 15 goes to realize Angelino's right next to him. He scored the goal in the opening 2 minutes. We conceded, and then he's still not marking. He's still not having a look over his shoulder saying, "Oh yeah, he's there," and they kept getting their goals like that. So I don't know what's been happening on the training ground. I don't know what's been said to him in the dressing room. But yeah, like to be honest, I would have rather been in one of them Jigsaw movies and have like drills going through my eyeballs than watch that display against Chelsea. No kidding. Like it's gone that bad where I'd rather be in one of them where you have to drill out your eyeballs to get through to the next round. It's just one of them. Just please, just how many games are left? 3 games left. Just put in like a thing to the Premier League and just forfeit. I'd rather that. To be honest,
in the season now,
it's a chore. It's an absolute chore. You know what I mean? We talk about it like in the second half. Like I know. Imad, I don't know if you rate McTominay because I've been looking in the comments. You want him to be our captain, but if this guy is going to be our captain and he's completing his first pass in the 84th minute and only completing 3 passes, 2 more passes after that, I mean, you can already see the problems there. You know what I mean? Like.
I don't rate him on ability, not on ability. I know he's a bit
passion merchant.
Passion FC, bro.
The cheerleader, yeah.
Passion FC, but everyone bangs on about Bruno having the passion and getting 100%. I don't rate Bruno.
Yeah, that's another one.
Me personally, I don't rate
Bruno. You gotta look at and criticize as well because. Like I've said before, the guy's got a tactical discipline of a cat. Just doesn't know where he is. He's always roaming, doing his own thing, and that's why under Oli he was getting the goals and assists because Oli was pretty much saying, "Do what you need. Give you like a little bit of a free roll, where you can just
freestyle FC.
Yeah, where you can just do what you want, and that's why he was getting in the positions to get them goals and assists. Where now, where you got someone that's a tactical manager that's come in and says, no, this is your role. This is where I need you to be. Or, you know, when we started playing that 4-2-2, and it was, this is the side I want you in. And then when this player gets the ball, you drift over back into the center, while whether it's Sancho, Mason, or Elanga go out wide, they're clueless. And that's why his confidence has gone. That's why every time he tries to go for these Hail Marys, switching balls like his poor skulls or something. Mate, like everyone's got, you 100%, you got to criticize everyone, but your main guys, like we can't be starting McTominay and guys in our midfield completing 3 passes the whole game, and your first completed pass comes in the 84th minute. That to me, like I couldn't believe that stat. Couldn't believe it.
Look, I know deep down McTominay is squad player at best.
Yeah.
If we can bring someone like him off the bench after this rebuild is done and bring him off the bench, you know, we've got a 2-0 lead or a 2-1 lead to shore up the defense, you know, make sure, you know, we have an enforcer in there. No problem.
Yeah, even that, I wouldn't even put him in defense because, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure he played like a striker when he was in the academy, or more of like a 8 to 10 role. He was more up the field, and that's why against when he plays against Leeds, and he's got that bit more freedom to come forward, and we see it with Fred as well. Fred has been fantastic since Rangnick's come in because he's played him in the 8 role, and even with McTominay going forward, McTominay is great. Like he's not the best, but he does the job up front, because if he makes a mistake, you got the players like Matic or whoever, Fred behind, that's going to sweep up.
Yeah, I meant not in the defensive line. I'd have him like in the middle just to help, you know, solidify and protect the back four. Vimal. So the game finished 1-1. Ronaldo saved our bacon again.
Mm-hmm.
Who, other than him, was there anyone else on the pitch there that impressed you, or?
Well, I mean, David De Gea made some critical saves. You know, he saved us pretty much throughout the entire game. But one thing I wanted to touch upon, you guys, and you know, perhaps Borja, you can give us your opinion. Is what did you think of the way our shape is in terms of defense? And did you see that first goal that when Chelsea scored? Did you see that back line and how the midfield kind of merged into the defense? It became like a linear back line, and the midfield was non-existent. And I've seen us do that so many times that we all literally become too far depressed. The back four are in a straight line. The 2 midfielders end up joining in between the centre backs, and it's just a linear defence. There's no real shape. Have you noticed that before? And I don't know if they're being drilled to do this way, or are they just naturally being submissive? But the zones are so open. The zones in front of midfield are completely
It's not compact.
Right.
That's the problem. There's no compact to the defense. Like even Telles should be squeezing in on that one, that photo that I saw. Telles should be squeezed in. That should be Rashford's player. And then if he gets beaten, then Telles is supposed to go. That's why there's always a 2-man overlap on the back post, because there's no one's compact and no one's coming back in to help in defense.
But I wonder, are they being told to do this? Are they drilled this way, or are they just doing it naturally? It just seems really bizarre.
I don't think they have a clue. I don't think they have a clue what they're doing. It's under fives even where you get caught ball watching. If you look at every goal that we concede, look at every player. Like you're saying, Adam, when you freeze frame the moment just before the goal, everyone is looking at where the ball carried.
Yeah, they're all ball watching.
Kante had the whole midfield to himself. This guy, he's past his prime. He's not even that great anymore. And you're giving this guy all the time in the world. And how you see him, and that ball in the first half that he played to Kai Havertz. Who's marking? Who's there? Like you're saying, everyone's just too far deep or too far up high. There's no midfield. Like McTominay is not sure what he's doing. In his head, he's like, oh, but I've been playing up high in the academy. Now I'm all the way back. Bruno goes up higher. He thinks he's still the false 9, and then he forgets to drop. There's a big hole. And even with I don't mind, like you're saying, Adam, with Telles' position, when the ball's on one side, if the ball's on like the low side, I don't mind if he leaves Reece James, who cooked us all game, who leaves him free, because once that ball gets switched across, at least you have time to come and shut him down. But even that, the ball's getting swinged across, and Telles is just letting him have it. I mean, I don't mind if there's a gap when you're defending, but then once the ball gets switched, you get tight. But how many times does Reece James need to cook you until you realize that, hey, maybe I got to start marking this guy? Because not once that I seen that Tellers told Rashford, hey, come back. I seen Ronaldo go and do both their jobs in the first half. He went out wide and he's throwing his hands up. You grab him, you mark here. And that's Ronaldo's job. Outside our 18-yard box. What's Ronaldo doing there? So he's coming back to do.
Well, at one stage he made a tackle on that left-hand side as well. Well done.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
he did. And he done it the week before as well. And this is what I was talking about, him come back with a different attitude. He's come in, we're getting beat well, and he's decided to hack down a player, which I enjoy seeing. So because it reminds me of when, he was with those group of boys from 2003 to 2009. So, that mentality, I just don't get. Like, if I'm a player, and I was a player for a long time, and I have a bloke like that come into my side, and I played with some quality players, whenever they came in, I'd get excited about it. It's like these boys I just can't even comprehend it, how you can't thrive off Ronaldo. I just don't get it.
Reported last week, and we don't know how true it is, but it was reported last week that Ranić hasn't seen such unprofessional players in his career in football. They don't listen to him during the game, so whenever he's giving them instructions or orders, no one listens. And like Borche said, the tactical discipline of a cat, you know what I mean? Their attention span, shine something over there, and they'll go chase that.
Yeah, that's right.
So and start scratching the walls.
We might need to get the fan base from the African Cup of Nations with the lasers and just point and tell Bruno that, hey, run here, run there. Just it's a light show. Armin van Buren. We need that at maybe Old Trafford for next season when they do these renovations.
Point it over there. You stand there.
That's right.
You point. Yeah, you run there.
Why not? I mean,
I reckon he's being told, but I think he's been told once you're a false nine, and he just takes it as that's leave to do whatever you want. I never understand Bruno going past the striker, especially when the keeper's got the ball. I never understand that. Never understand anyone, unless you're down by a fair few, you shouldn't be shutting down the keeper.
Yeah, you're right. You know what these guys do, though? Like, they do things that to make us think that they're pressing. Like,
100%. I saw it on the weekend.
Bruno would press, and you're like, bro, you didn't even need to run. There was no point. The keeper had the ball.
Yeah, playing to the crowd.
And then it's like, oh yeah, but I'm pressing, I'm running. You know what? You're not, because there's no point. You're doing it. You don't need to do it. So you're killing yourself. You're wasting energy for no reason.
I hear that a lot. About Bruno. But they praise him for it. Oh yeah, he runs and he makes effort, and he gets it, and but it's like he's just doing a lot of work for no reason. You know what I mean?
It only works because I do coaching myself as well. And when we tell the kids, the first player, like let's just say if it's Bruno, I'll be telling Bruno, your job is to press but not win the ball. So your job is to run to the man, not win the ball. But then the players around you have to close in on the spaces around the other players to win the ball back. So it's a second man. You're winning the ball in the second man. You're not winning it with the press that Bruno's doing. Yeah. You're winning it with the players on the outside.
So when Bruno's pressing, causing that pressure.
Everyone else is just... Yeah, go Bruno. Well done, mate. Oh, we're meant to be running as well. Oh, too late now. They've gone. But
I feel like he goes off just on his own without.
He just.
Yeah. It's not that the other guys just sit back and watch. I think everyone else is doing their job.
Everyone's in our half. The ball gets lumped up into almost their keeper, and you say Bruno. Meow.
Yeah, it's like a Formula One car.
Yeah. Do you think, however, that a lot of this tactical discipline could improve next season under Ten Hag? We understand that Bruno is pretty much all over the place. The other guys don't chip in, lackluster efforts. Do you think that is going to improve next season with this bunch of squad, or do we need to have a complete overhaul?
Yeah, well, half of them are leaving anyway, so I don't think they really
care
what the result. It could be 5 off contract, and then there's probably another 5 they have to get rid of. So I think maybe if some of the players come in, they can probably improve, but they need to be like, all right, this is the main guy now. If they weren't playing under Ralph because substitute teacher, You know how it
Mhm.
is. Back in school, the substitute teacher comes in, everyone's just mucking around, no one really
Yeah.
cares. So maybe when this guy comes in now, Ten Hag comes in, imprints his style of play, then they're gonna need to switch on. Otherwise, see you later, out the door. And to be honest, I don't personally for me, I, I, I love Rashford too. He's one of my favorite players. But if you're not gonna do what the manager wants, because I think he's got one of the worst footballing IQs in world football when it comes to Rashford. If you can't improve in that, then maybe I don't know, like Stoke City, someone like that, Bolton Wanderers. You
Mm.
don't have to travel far, so we can maybe ship you off to there. So
Where do you
I'm
think he's
hoping.
lacking in the football IQ? In what areas do you think
Just
he's
decision
lacking?
making. His decision making is horrible. How do you? There was one game I think it might have been against Liverpool or City, one of them games, or even Tottenham, where he won the ball, and instead of playing the through ball to Bruno, he's actually gone out wide. He keeps and he's got like four players on running after him. Four players. He's gone even wider. And then trying to whip in across to Bruno, the smallest player on the pitch, where he could have just played in that through ball.
Mm.
Bruno's 1-on-1 with the keeper. And so many times it's like he gets the ball and runs straight at the player. Like
Mm.
what
And he
what are
runs
you
into
actually,
traffic.
that's what I'm saying. Like
Mm.
you're not thinking about what your next move is with a footballer. You like when you look at De Bruyne's, your Bernardo Silva's, all these guys, like they've already planned ahead. He's
Mm.
already got the ball. He goes, I know when I receive the ball, it's going to go to Jesus and it's going to go out wide to this player, that player. This guy, he gets the ball, Rashford gets it. And it's just like, what do I do now? What do I do now? So it's, I don't know.
Do you
Hopefully,
think?
hopefully under Ten Hag, he sorts
Yeah.
them out. Not just him, sorts out everyone because there's issues all over the park.
Who would you like to keep from this main 11 going forward into the next season?
Well, that's probably an easy
It's a
one. Then who
tough one.
wants to go? Yeah. Look, I think I got issues personally with De Gea distribution and all that, but that's the least of our worries, to be honest. So I'll probably keep De Gea, Varane. You keep Bruno because he's got a contract. I would like to see Rashford, Sancho stay. Obviously, Alenga. I don't think Alenga's good enough, to be honest, as well. But
Mm.
they're probably the only ones. And maybe Ronaldo. I'd like to see Ronaldo be the captain next season if he decides to stay. I think it takes off a bit of pressure from anyone else kind of being captain because
Yeah.
we already know that he's only here for one more season. Give
Yeah.
the captain to him. If Ten Hag brings in his own players and says, you know what, maybe a Frankie De Jong, he can probably be our captain. But at least you give him a whole season to kind of get into the squad where
Not
when
5 minutes.
Maguire, you don't have this thing of Maguire's just come in and he's captain already and all that sort of stuff. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
let him
Not
earn
that
it,
Ashley
sort of
Young
thing.
was any better, but you know what I'm saying. So maybe it gives him a bit more time. If just give Ronaldo the captaincy, why not?
Yeah. Plus, he looks like he can cope with it as well. He should have been captain now.
Other than that, I don't really see anyone else staying. Like who else
The
part of this
the
squad
the full the
deserves to be here?
fullbacks.
None of the fullbacks. Like even Varane's questionable this season. You'll give him a pass because it's his first time in the Prem. But other than that, I don't really see anyone else. Everyone else is kind of
Conference
leaving.
League Varane.
Conference League Varane. Why not, bro? Why not? At least we're going to be well, if we win it, we'll be the first English team to win all the trophies then. So we've got something to brag about. The bragging rights are still here. Don't worry, boys. Don't worry. There's a positive on the horizon.
All right. Well, we've got Brentford coming up on Tuesday. I think it's a Tuesday morning for us. Well, it's on the 3rd.
Yeah, you're right. Tuesday morning.
Yeah, Tuesday morning, 5 a.m.
Nice
We'll
nice
look at-
timing
we'll
for
look-
you guys.
What time's that for you?
It's Monday, 8 o'clock.
Oh yeah,
So yeah, 8 p.m. So yeah,
That's
good evening show.
prime time.
Prime
Prime
time.
time. Forte, I want to thank you for coming on, my man.
problem. Thanks for
Make
having
sure you jump on his channel, The Football Capital. Jump on his socials. Really appreciate you coming on, giving us an insight and a review on the Chelsea game and the disaster that we keep producing week in, week
Yeah.
out.
Nah, thanks for having me,
Hopefully.
guys. Thanks. I appreciate it.
I
Hopefully.
have one last question
Finishing
actually,
the
if we have some time. Boris, what do you think about these movements in management? So you've got Matt Judge, you've got those 2 scouts that have gone, you've got Paul Mitchell coming in. What's your take on that?
What is Paul Mitchell coming in? Is that confirmed? Because if
yeah.
that's the case, then I'm hoping he does. Look, at the moment, you got to give Richard Arnold a bit of credit for what he's done since he's become in the role. A lot of football decisions have been being made since he's come in. a lot of the dead wood in the backroom staff have been all gone. Whether it was Ollie's coaching staff to the people upstairs, and look, you seen Randy come in, and he said 3 weeks. I was only here for 3 weeks, and he could tell that it needs a full rebuild, and you need the right people in place. I support in the Bundesliga, my teams, well, Bundesliga 2 now, Schalke's my team. So I remember when Rangnick was there, being the manager, took him to the Champions League semi-final. United knocked them out under Rangnick then. And then what he's done at RB Leipzig. You gotta look at that, and all the players that have come through, that have been scouted through him, that have been scouted through Paul Mitchell as well. Some great players that are in the Premier League now that have been all scouted by these guys. You need to get the right people in. Whoever's making the decisions upstairs, like Richard Arnold, at the moment, he's doing a good job, if you ask me, because he's not saying, "Oh no, get him." He's letting the guys, he's letting Radnick, he's letting all these other guys do what they need to do.
Purely football decisions.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
As it should.
In saying that, it's going to be interesting now to see when Ten Hag comes in and when he gives them a list of, I want this player or that player or this player, if they go and get him. Because to me, from what I've been seeing, Declan Rice has been a target for a while now. Who's the guy from Leeds? What's his name?
Calvin Phillips.
Calvin Phillips. Like, these players have been linked for a while. So if you guys and Harry Kane, like, if you splash the cash on that, all right, it's the same old. Nothing's happening. You could just splash in the cash. I wouldn't spend that much money and blow the budget on 1 or 2 players, where you can spend 200 million on getting a few players.
4 or 5 players, yeah.
That's right. That's going to be decent and fit the jigsaw, rather than marquee signing. He's going to sell the shirts, and this is what he's going to do. Marketing player here. Let's get him in. Let's sign him up. But at the moment, from what I've been seeing, the 2 scouting guys have been gone. I'm not too sure what they've done since they were there. But who was the other guy who left this morning?
Matt Judge.
Yeah,
he said he resigned, but I'm sure he was pushed.
Since he was there, 2014, since he was there,
Yeah.
what signings do we have at this moment that you can say have been successful? So,
but it's also his transfer negotiations. I mean, why is he overpaying for players? Why is he paying them too many wages? Yeah, he's the one that negotiates all that, and I think it's been pretty poor.
But yeah, at the moment, happy that he's gone now. At least someone can come in, get the wage structure right, get it on track, and then we'll see what happens from there. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Yeah, fingers crossed.
Hopefully, next season is a new project, and it's just positive vibes.
Trust the process.
Trust the process. Anyway, like I said, Broadshare, thanks for coming on, man. Really appreciate it. Boys, it's been another good episode in the cave. We hope all the viewers enjoy it. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section. Ask some questions. And we'll come back to you again from the cave. Thank you.
See you later.
See you, boys.
See you guys.
Bye.